there it is. Whoop, there it is. Good Lord. That's
Ooh.
134 channels. Yeah,
He's very organized.
I know. I was looking at his stuff
I'm
earlier. I
scared
was
to
like,
show my FL studios. I'm sloppy.
I know, right? Hey, he's even got the little instrument
That
symbols and
is
everything.
organization skills 101.
Yeah. No, it creates for great productivity and getting your shit out. Like I don't know, I don't like getting caught up by just little bullshit time consuming things. I'd rather have it just, bam, let me kick this shit out.
Oh,
All right, well, show us some stuff, man.
it makes me want to close my FL studios right now.
All right, so check this out. This is how I'm gonna help y'all out real quick. So y'all just go in, just open up from. I start from a minimal empty. Let's save this real quick. Where's my projects?
He was showing me earlier that you could actually do templates, and I didn't know
Yeah,
that. You
that's
could build your own
what I'm about
templates.
to show y'all right now.
I always did bare bones. I just found out like months
Well, he
ago.
was doing templates to where basically he could have everything set up the way where however you needed it, and that way you just open that template for whatever style you're doing. Like he had trap music, R&B, whatever. And
What?
yeah, he just open his template and go with it.
How many beats you clear a day?
Man, if I sit down and actually punch them out, I can knock out anywhere from 5 to 10. But if the thing is like that's when I get in my flow state. And the only thing is like that holds me back is lately I've been getting into mixing and mastering. So now when I try and sit down, my scientific comes out and I'm trying to mix and master as I create too. So that slows me down. I gotta
Yeah, I
stop.
noticed
I gotta
that
just
that
like
that
create and then touch it up after.
yeah, I noticed that whenever I try to do that all at once, it okay, so I learned something the other day. When you listen to the same melody or listen to the same tones over and over and over, your ears get either used to it or it tries to channel out certain tones. So when you're mixing, and you've just made like a 4 hour cookup or something, or a 2 hour cookup, whatever, however long you've been working on it, your ears are already from like trying to drown out some of the tones in the song. So if you actually mix it like hours later or like the next day, it actually works out a lot better for your ears.
It
If you try
does.
it,
I agree with you. And the reason why I say that, I have a horrible, horrible problem. I'm a SoundCloud baby. Yeah, I know SoundCloud rappers. Woo, I do all my production through SoundCloud. I just open up a YouTube. But SoundCloud got this feature where you can put a track out, and when you're trying to crank so much music out, you think it sound good until you go the next day and your sound so drowned out or your stuff is too compressed. And it's just like, ooh, I thought it sounded good.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's because your ears have already adjusted to whatever is
Right.
going on. And so either like for instance, if you're using a lot of live drums, like there's a lot of really high the hi hats, like the high tones of the hi hats, high tones of the open hats, high tones of even the snares and stuff. Your ears, when before you mix all that stuff and actually compress some of it down and take some of the EQ out, your
Mhm.
ears are automatically trying to channel that out because it's like, hey, this is too high, so your ears are just like, no, 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 no. We ain't having this no more. We had heard enough. And then also too, whenever people sit on the same like loop or sample or something, and they're trying to figure out where they're gonna go with it, and they just listen to it over and over and over and over. What happens, or maybe you're trying to fix a certain portion of the track, like a verse or a hook, and you listen to it over and over and over to figure out what you can do to make it better. What happens is they either tweak too much or they take too much out, or like there's too much going on, and you have to really sometimes you got to just take a break and come back, because what happens is that your ears start telling you, oh, we don't like this, oh, we don't like that, and really you just need to take a break. But I didn't think about that. And used to, when I first started making beats, I'd be up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning cooking up, and I would wake up at like 8 or 9, and do all my mixing. And
Mhm.
sometimes it would work out great, man. Sometimes it really didn't either. But I think it was just because I was putting too much on the mixing. Too many compressions, too much EQ. Just I was
Right.
overdoing it.
Do y'all mind if I show y'all a track? I know he was doing something before, after he, wherever after you doing you wanted to show us. I wanted to show y'all something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's all good. Chance, go ahead. Your volume is off, Chance.
Excuse me.
All right, screw it. I'll just use this mic.
Yeah, you sound good now.
All right, so the main thing I base my projects off of is my MIDI controller. Whatever controllers you got in front of you, you're gonna want to obviously integrate everything into one piece where you're not having to map stuff out anytime you want to do something. So obviously everyone's probably gonna have 16 pads, whatever. So the first thing I do is I just go through, I clone my samplers, lay out 16 of that, then group that up. You can highlight all of these and just make it a filter group just to keep your shit grouped, and you can add
Oh
different
wow,
things
I
to
didn't
your
even know
groups.
that.
Yeah, so you can go through and pick different groups out. You just make different groups right there. I do drum, instrument, and then I do automation and stuff like that already makes their own type of groups and audio. But the main things I work out of is the instrument one, just to take away all those drum pad samplers that I got loaded up. I go on an instrument just so I can see my instruments themselves. Then if I want to go mess with the drums, I go see the drums by themselves. Or you can pull up all, look at everything all at once. Um, but pretty much you're just gonna open up an empty FL Studio file and just start organizing and naming things how you would want them to be set up, or however would help you, whether it's track name, groups, whatever it is. You're going to want to get all that stuff set up, because that's going to pretty much what's going to help you get in and get out, lay your stuff down and get that shit out of there the quickest without having to go in, name stuff, organize stuff, especially if you're exporting by wave, or if you just have a lot of different sounds in there and you're having to name each thing. I don't know. Color coordination definitely helps, but biggest thing to start with is just start with your MIDI controllers based off of your, however you want to do it with that. Another good tip, I showed Jay Reed this back a while back. But you want to take advantage of your Omni Preview MIDI channel, because that's what's going to allow you to play each one of these samplers with each one of your pad, instead of your pads being melodic and having to play different keys. You're going to play the root note of each of these samplers whenever you do it. So here, let me load mine up and I'll show you all. So I still got this. Wait, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so this is my instruments right here. That's everything all I have played right there. Let me load up some shit into these real quick, just to mess around.
So
And show
basically, what he's
y'all.
trying to say is that if you already have it basically set up to where those are all your channels, then all you have to do is just plug in whatever instruments,
Yeah,
whatever piano, Nexus, whatever it is that you
exactly.
want.
You just go in and replace me. I actually have these linked up with my controller, because my controller, I have zone buttons. I got 4 zone buttons, and then I have a zone activator button, which pretty much turns on that zone. And each zone I can set to a different MIDI channel. And then I set each of these 4 to receive notes from a different MIDI channel. So this one's receiving notes from one. So I almost don't even have to touch FL Studio just to change what I want to play around with on my piano. Your MIDI channels and your Omni preview are the two biggest things that's going to help you just gain overall control, like overall controllability in FL Studio. Let me see. So see, I can play in that. Where's this one at? Okay. Well, see, I'm not playing them melodically. I'm playing them as you would any other drum pad, as if it was each its own track.
I didn't hear any sounds.
Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, okay. Let me run with my virtual. Oh, I'm running.
There you go.
But that just helps you out and be able to kick stuff out, especially if you go in and already know your root note of what you're playing around with or what you want to set your root note to. You can have that knocked out, no problem. If you just go in, fucking set your root note by whatever you want it to play at. If you're just trying to play at singularity from your pad, or you can just go in and map out, obviously, in the piano roll. But on top of that, I mean, I just start grouping up everything how I would want it grouped up just to keep it organized, have it all organized by different colors. Just go in, start naming your stuff. You can name icon as well as if you see.
I've changed the color and the name, but I didn't know that there was like an icon thing.
Yeah, there's a little, when you're on the name, whenever you're on the name, the icon's right here to the very left of it. And it'll pull up all your icons.
Wow.
There.
I never knew none of this. He even got the thing on the top where it says track 5 and mute solo black. Are those patterns? Is that like
this right here is my tag. This is my beat tag that I have load automatically with my project. I put how I want it. I pretty much made it how I want it, and now I got it stationary in every project that I load up, brand new. So here, let me run that through y'all. So that's loaded up default anytime I open up my project. That's there all the time. And that's because if you don't move your sample around, or if you put your sample in the correct place, it'll be able to grab it from that no problem every time. And that's just how I have my stuff load up and out. If you notice this little A right here, anytime I put something onto one of these tracks, it actually links it automatically to my mixer track. And that's because you go on here, you go into, where is it? Track mode. You can make it an audio track and link it to one of your mixer tracks right here. So anytime you put a sample straight from here, let's say we throw it onto the kick. Now when that plays through, you'll notice right here it's coming through the kick automatically without me having to route it. It's just on there automatically. Don't have to touch it. Don't have to do anything. Don't have to go in there. You see right here, it's already labeled as 20 as soon as I lay it down onto it. So if I go and lay down this one right here on the clap, which is 21, you see it's already laid down on 21. Everything that just helps you go through and not have to, deal with that small shit. You can choose it to be linked to mixer track, or if you want to keep a specific instrument in there at all times, like your favorite go-to instrument on this beat or whatever, you go and make an instrument track, and then that, let me pull up this one down here. Let's make this one an instrument track and have it pull up on the spear. And it'll link it to one of your mixer tracks already. So everything's all going to be interlinked, no problem. And you actually don't have to click on anything from here. You can open it up right here.
Oh, wow.
Not even having to do that. That's just, I'm not too much of a fan on that because it's only that instrument that will link to whatever specific this on the sphere thing. It makes it own. It names it and does all that for you, but I feel like that's a pain in the ass. So I just use the audio, the link to actually link it to my mixer, and then I just name everything here on my mixer how I want it. At least the basics, you know what I mean? I don't have everything all named out, but I got it coded to where I still can keep track of it. But once you link it right here, once you link this, your playlist track to the mixer track, anything you do on either one is going to affect the other as far as your name, your color, your whatever it is. So if I change 12 right here to whatever you call 155, it changes this to 155 as far as the name on it as well too, because it's linked together.
See, I never knew that. The way I was always taught to use your channel rack to do all those different things. So that
Well,
actually works pretty neat. That's even better.
definitely, just because it kind of helps. I mean, I still go through and I'll just rename them, you know, whatever the instrument is, whether it's an open hat or whatever it is. But this just helps me know what pad the instrument is playing through or which pad it's loaded on through as far as the beginning. Like my first four are always my 808 and my kick, clap, and hi-hat, and then everything else I stack on top of that. But yeah, this will help you as far as just knocking stuff out and go through, lay it down. And it's not just with audio files. You can take the if you have a pattern with just a single instrument pattern in there, it'll link that instrument pattern. If you have multiple, so say if you have like a group pattern with, you know, hi-hat and kick in one pattern, it won't automatically link that. It has to be one singular instrument pattern in that. So if you go in there and you right click, split by channel, you know, it'll break it down automatically for you, and then you can just lay that out wherever. So if you just make like a whole big pattern right here, whatever, you know, you got all this going right here, just go through and it automatically splits it by name for you. And then you just drop those in there and those get linked automatically wherever you're dropping into. So this, everything, it's like pretty much complete automation how I made it. But I can also give y'all the basic projects. I can give y'all a copy of the basic projects and y'all can edit it y'all's own way if y'all like as well too.